When did someone's ego literally almost kill another person? I warned a nurse that a patient's medication combination would cause cardiac arrest, and she told me to stay in my lane because I wasn't a real doctor. I'd been working as a hospital pharmacist for 8 years at that point. I was going through the medication orders when I saw something that made my blood freeze. Room 217 had a new prescription that was going to kill them. The patient was on blood thinners from his surgery 2 days earlier, and the new order was for a heart medication that created a deadly combination. The two medications would cause his heart to stop beating. I'd seen this exact interaction cause 3 cardiac arrests in my career. I grabbed the chart and headed straight to the nurse's station. The charge nurse had been working in the ICU for probably 15 years, and she had that look nurses get when they'd been dealing with difficult patients and demanding families all night. I walked up to her desk and explained the deadly medication combination. She didn't even look up from her paperwork at first. When I mentioned cardiac arrest, she finally looked up with this annoyed expression, like I'd just interrupted something important. She told me she'd been doing this job since before I graduated high school, and she knew how to read a medication order. I explained that these two medications together would literally stop his heart. She stood up and crossed her arms, asking if I was questioning the doctor's expertise since he'd been practicing medicine for 20 years. I told her that even experienced doctors made mistakes, and this was a deadly one. The attending physician was in surgery and couldn't double-check this order. She shook her head and started walking toward the medication room. I don't need you to do my job for me. Stay in your lane. I followed her because I knew what was about to happen if she administered those medications. I tried explaining once more that these two substances together caused massive internal bleeding that led to cardiac arrest. She stopped walking and turned around to face me. Her voice got louder and other nurses started looking in our direction. She asked if I knew what happened to pharmacists who thought they knew better than physicians. She could have me written up for insubordination. My heart was racing because I knew this patient was going to die if I didn't convince her. I pulled out my phone to show her the substance interaction database, but she waved my phone away without even glancing at it. I don't need to see your little app. I've been giving medications for 15 years and have never killed anyone yet. Your supervisor is going to hear about this attitude problem. Another nurse walked over, probably curious about what all the commotion was about, and she told the other nurse that the pharmacy thought they knew better than the doctor about cardiac medications. The other nurse looked at me like I'd just suggested we start bloodletting patients and said that was pretty bold coming from someone who counted pills all day. I made one last desperate attempt, asking her to call the doctor and confirm the order since the patient was on blood thinners. She laughed and started preparing the medication tray. We're not bothering a surgeon in the middle of an operation over this. Give me those medications right now or I'm calling security. I realized there was no convincing her. I watched her load the syringe with the cardiac medication and head toward room 217. I called after her saying that if she gave him that medication, he was going to code in less than 10 minutes. She didn't even turn around. 5 minutes later, the code blue alarm started blaring through the entire hospital. I ran toward the ICU and saw the crash cart racing down the hallway to room 217. Through the doorway, I could see them doing chest compressions on the patient while his heart monitor showed flatline. The charge nurse was standing in the corner looking pale and shaken while the medical team worked frantically to revive him. They managed to get his heart beating again after 12 minutes of CPR, but the damage was done. The patient survived, but needed extensive recovery from the cardiac episode I'd known was coming. Later that morning, the charge nurse found me in the pharmacy. Her hands were shaking and she looked like she hadn't slept in days. She apologized and admitted I'd been right about the medication interaction. The attending physician had confirmed it when he got out of surgery. The patient was stable, but it had been close. The hospital was implementing a new policy requiring pharmacist approval on all cardiac medications because of the incident. We had a much better working relationship after that.